Alright, so in this specific one, we are going to see a practical demonstration of AWS S3 event notification. Now, in the previous one, we already learned about what actually event notification are. So basically, whenever you do any sort of actions in AWS S3, let it be you fetch an object, you upload an object, you overwrite an object, you delete an object, any operation done on operational level, that is known as event, right? And whenever we want to get notified, let's say X file is been deleted, we want to get notified, we actually make use of event notification, right? All right, so let us get started. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to create a bucket. So let us create a bucket. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to connect AWS S3 with SQS so that we will get the notification on time. All right, so let us create a new bucket, the Shubham new demo. Okay, so scroll down, and we are already aware of versioning. Why we are enabling versioning? Because it actually indicates and gives IDs to each and every object. That's why we are enabling the versioning. All right, let us go with everything as default. Here the first thing is done, right? Let us go inside the Shubham new demo, which is our bucket. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is we need to merge two services, right? Because as we are already aware of, each services in AWS is isolated in its own environment. So that is why we need to connect both the services together. And how we are going to do it? We are going to do it through permissions, through generating policies, right? So let us open SQS. I'll just mark it as favorite so that it will be accessible from here as well. Okay, opening it on new tab. So yeah, this is simple queue service. Okay, and we are going to do a deep dive on this specific one. For now, just consider that it is a message queue service. Okay, so let us create a new queue, and I'll just write here as event S3 queue. Okay, and let us keep all the things as default as is and click on create queue. The queue is now created. Now let us go back to the bucket. Okay, and here what we are going to do is we are going to enable we are going to connect SQS with S3, right? For that we need to create a event notification. So click on create notification, and here we are going to write S3 to SNS. That would be the event name. Okay, and here what sort of events you want to trigger. Okay, so here we have an option for all object creation events, so that can be put, post, copy, and you can even go in further categorization. For let's now we are going to tick mark all objects create events. For object removal as well, if you delete any sort of object and if there is a delete marker created, you can enable this as well. Okay, but since it's a basic one, we are going to see actually what will happen and which event will get triggered when we actually upload an object, right? You can even try to enable these one. When you delete the object, you will get an notification for the deletion as well, right? So let us keep everything as default as is. Okay, and here let us select SQS queue, and when you click here you will get S3 events queue. Okay, all right, let us go back. This is the SQS that we created. Okay, and now click on save changes. Now it is throwing an error and saying is that it encountered an unexpected error, and what it is, unable to validate the following destination configurations. Alright, why? Because we haven't generated the policy and it is not actually connected to SQS. For that, what we are going to do is go here, go to access policy, and here we need to modify this policy. And how do we do that? We are going to generate the policy. So scroll down and here click on policy generator. Which service it is SQS. Okay, and we want to apply it to all. And here what action do we need to perform? Actually we want to send a message through SQS, right? So click send message, and here ARN, okay, Amazon the resource name. And where do we get it? It is under here. Okay, so when you go to access policy, here under resources you will find the SQS. And even if you further want to read it perfectly, it will be Amazon resource name followed by AWS service SQS US East 1 and followed by the ID. Okay, and followed by the queue name. Okay, all right, let us go back to policy generator, and here we are going to paste the ARN. Okay, add statement, generate policy. The policy is generated, and let us copy this entirely. Replace the existing policy which was created by default. Scroll down and click on save. The policy is now generated. Okay, and let us go back to the queue, send and receive message. Okay, here let us go back to S3 and we are going to click save again. Okay, what it is saying, the event has been created. So first thing first, that what we are going to do is we are going to poll for message, and we are going to check whether it is able to send a test message or not. So when you click on poll message, just see what the polling progress does. Okay, it is actually sending a message to SQS, S3 sorry, and here you can see it has already sent one message, but let us wait for the polling progress. Alright, polling progress is completed and it says that one received, right? When you click on it, you can see you are getting one JSON, right? So let us expand it and try to understand what actually it has done. It is saying that it is connected to S3, AWS S3, okay, and the event that it has triggered is S3 test event triggered, okay, and what it has done, it has targeting the bucket name, and yeah, that was the test message that it did, right? Now when I click on done, and now we are actually going to try and we are going to upload an object and see whether actually it is working fine or not. Okay, so this was just a test message to check whether it is working fine or not. Let us go back to bucket and upload an object. Okay, so I'll click on upload, click on add file, and this time we are going to use the same file Sikai, and let us click on upload. Now remember, see, the file size is 2.7 MB. Okay, why I am specifying to this, you'll definitely get to know in the coming one. Okay, so let me close this. The object is uploaded. Okay, now when I go back to SQS and click on poll for message, we are expecting a new message, and here you can see it is present here. Okay, it is still polling, but we got the message. Now when I click here, it was the second one and this is the recent one. Okay, all right, let us try to understand this one. Event source, the AWS S3 region US East 1. Okay, and what time it got triggered. Okay, and what action did it perform? So basically it was a put action. Okay, now let us read the parameters. Okay, so it was the S3 bucket new demo. Okay, and what was the object which was uploaded? It was Sikai JPEG. What was the size? 2.8, right? This is the size in KBs, and if you remember, I was specifying to 2.7 MB, so this is a specific one that I was targeting to. Here we have a specific version ID. All right, and yeah, that is how we are able to connect AWS S3 with SQS, and we are able to trigger the messages through it. Okay, now how to revert back everything, let us go with that. Okay, so first of all, we are going to try the deletion for S3 queue. Okay, so let us delete it. Let us type confirm, and we are going to delete this queue. Okay, so now no queue is created. All right, let us go back to the bucket, and as obviously what we need to do is we are going to delete it, and here write delete. All right, close. When I show on version, see, the delete marker is present. Okay, so that is the beauty of enabling version in your S3, right? So as of now, we just need to delete the bucket. So let us go with the straightforward thing, empty bucket, and yeah, let us type permanently delete, and we should be good to go with the deletion of AWS S3 bucket. All right, so yeah, let me just refresh it, and I'm going to delete it again. Bucket name, alright, so we successfully deleted it and we are back to square one. That was all for this video, and see you in specific one.